All right, guys, I am spilling some pretty hot and fiery tea. So in a recent interview on GBM News with Candace Owens and Nigel Farage, they were discussing the tensions between the royal family and Prince Harry's return after the announcement of Charles' cancer diagnosis. Now, he had a very, very short trip, and this entire 8-minute dialogue was, in my opinion, a literal Candace Owens versus Meghan Markle roast fest.
And in that circumstance, it's racism must be fought. But in reality, what's buried underneath is a state incentive to make people disloyal to the people that they should be the most loyal to.
She does not like Meghan Markle, and she makes it extremely clear. In fact, the title of this news report is Prince Harry is not as intelligent as Meghan Markle. So she basically is accusing Prince Harry of not being smart, and that Meghan Markle is a manipulative woman who has an ulterior agenda. And I cannot tell you how many times she had criticized her acting skills and claiming that her only reason for marrying Prince Harry is that she has always wanted to be an A-list actress, and that she clearly doesn't have the skills or talent to be an A-list actress. So the only way to get into Hollywood was to marry Prince Harry.
Something that Meghan Markle did, this Freudian transfer of I'm now Princess Diana and I must be saved. It's manipulative.
I don't know about that. Now, I am reporting what Candace Owens shared. She is a vocal, opinionated conservative that has every right to her opinion. But this is not everybody's opinion. The fact is, calling Prince Harry or claiming that Prince Harry is not as intelligent as her is her, in a way, giving Meghan credit for the fact that she outsmarted or successfully manipulated the prince. This is a lot of gossip, okay? And what really, as I'm watching the entire interview, and Nigel or her are going back and forth, and it seems that Nigel is in agreement with Candace Owens' statement. And in fact, Candace repeated many times that she did not think that the royal family would ever reconcile. And Nigel did state that I think that the people and fans would like to see a merging of this family. There are a number of times where Candace accuses Meghan of just having, no scruples, that everything about Meghan is all about her desire to make it big in Hollywood. In fact, Owens claimed that Harry followed Meghan's American dream and is subject to her manipulation. And literally, Meghan's entire agenda has only been to be with the prince so she can get into all the A-list parties. She even stated that, well, she's living the dream. She's living in a massive mansion. She's having tea with Oprah now. So life is good. Nigel, on the other hand, did comment several times about how this couple had made a lot of money for very little content. So Owens told GBN America host Nigel Farage, I knew they would end up in LA because that was Meghan's dream. Her dream was to be an A-lister, and she was unable to make it on the basis of her own merit as an actress.
Her dream was to be an A-lister, and she was unable to make it to those A-list parties.
She further goes on to claim that Meghan Markle sought to deconstruct the royal family on the basis of something noble, which was the allegations of racism. She called her the princess of Black Lives Matter, which supported the idea of, breaking up a family, deconstructing a family, which she had claimed was Meghan's entire intention all along. She added, she wanted fame and she wanted wealth. And I don't want to say that Prince Harry was an unwitting participant. He obviously is not as smart as her, but also he liked the fame and he liked the attention in a certain way as well. She's coming out swinging and she's coming out strong. The thing that surprised, I guess I'm not that surprised. I've heard Candace Owens speak about Meghan in the past. She's clearly not a fan.
The only way to say it is he's just not as intelligent as her. He's not reading the situation as clearly as other people are reading it.
Nigel did pose the question to Candace whether he thought that Meghan's motives were in any way political and whether or not she was going to make it political. And Candace's response was, well, she's not smart enough to make it political and nobody likes her anyway. That's a pretty big statement. I'm sure that Meghan has some fans. I don't think that the entire world is out to get her or that the entire world believes that she married Prince Prince Harry for that reason. We don't really know what those reasons are. It looked like a fairy tale romance from the very beginning. However, in Prince Harry's book Spare, we clearly know that there was trouble in the palace. It was centered around racism, that he and Prince William actually got into a fist fight over remarks of Prince William talking about his wife, which he did not like. Nigel also reacted to the comments made by Owens and said it will be very hard for the royal family to forgive Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for what they've done. They've literally aired the royal dirty laundry and it stunk, okay?
It's very difficult for William and Kate to forgive him, given the awful things he wrote about them in that book, Spare.
No, but I personally, as a matchmaker and a mom and a sister and a mentor and a very big family, really would want to see this family make amends. Whether they want to or not, it seems clear that at this time, that's not even in the near future. In fact, because of Prince Harry's short trip, supposedly he flew there for 45 minutes. He wasn't even in the country for 24 hours, which likely is an indication of the rift that's there. Other news articles report that it's Camilla who is like really distraught with him being there. There was supposedly some kind of altercation between them. Words were exchanged. And that's not surprising considering in his memoir or documentary, he did not have favorable things to say about Camilla nor to most of the family. Candace seemed to believe that, if Princess Diana were around, Princess Diana's opinion would be that she would want to have her sons reconciled. In no way, shape, or form would Princess Diana, she'd be flabbergasted. I think she'd be heartbroken if she was part of witnessing her two, sons fighting and not even speaking to one another. This is a classic example. Even if you're royal, even if you're a celebrity, families can have dysfunction. Families have disagreements. Sibling rivalry is present for celebrity or royalty. It's how they deal with that and how they treat things. And what was the motivation for? A lot of people are claiming the motivation for the book was for them to make money. And Nigel mentioned that a couple of times. They made a lot of money, yet they made very little content. Once again, it is known that Prince Harry immediately flew to the UK. So he took fast action, only he didn't stay there. After the diagnosis of King Charles, cancer's diagnosis, he took the action, but he didn't stay long. And it was reported that Her Majesty was furious. Harry flew in from the ritzy California home without getting palace approval. He's not a royal now, so are they really requiring Prince Harry to get palace approval to go see his father, who is just diagnosed with cancer? I don't know. That is again, maybe there's some truth in that book after all. If they were upset because he didn't sign paperwork or make an announcement that he's going to go visit his dad, that's a little crazy to me, if there's truth to that at all. The outlet reports that part of the reason for his short stay was that he did request to see his father alone, and Camilla was furious about that. She's taken a lot of bile from Harry for years and couldn't wait to let him have it. Now, if that was really the case, in my advice to families, to individuals, when you have a tragic situation and you've got a serious diagnosis, and depending on the level of the severity of that diagnosis, cancer is a serious thing. Do you not think that for a moment, for days, for months, or for whatever it is, that you can let your guard down and forgive and just be present so that the stress of this conflict is not impacting the person who's sick? That would be the smart thing to do. That would be the most selfless thing to do. If Camilla was outraged and furious, as the reports state, I would say that's behavior that I would not think very royal or very polite, considering that, after all, that is his son and his youngest son. And I know that, she doesn't care what Princess Diana thinks, but, this is a time when there is a serious illness that you would think a family would come together. Conflict in families exists all the time. And once again, I don't think that the royals are exempt from having family conflict. A lot of this conflict is centered around the book. It is centered around Meghan Markle, which is the reason why Candace has such a distaste for Meghan Markle, because she truly believes that she, has no real love interest, that everything about her being and actions and activity is all for her to look good, to get into parties, to tea with Oprah. She didn't have one nice thing to say. I would not, if I were Meghan listening to Candace, I would think like she is coming for me. And I really don't understand where the hate is for her. Really, in this family dynamic, we are all sort of spectators, right? We're outsiders looking in. None of us really know what really happened. And certainly Prince Harry is speaking from his point of view. In every situation, there's two sides of the story. And those two sides in reality can feel like extremely different experiences. That's what happened. You have, 7 people in the same situation, and if you ask all 7 people what they felt, what they thought, what they saw, and how they interpreted the situation, you could have 7 different stories and 7 different experiences. Well, this family's no different. I think that when you are in the limelight like that, and it escalates with news reports and paparazzi and past history and just a general annoyance of people butting into their lives, that is not going to be easy for any family to deal with. We don't know the real reason why Harry came in and flew out within 24 hours. We don't know if there was an emergency with his child at home. We just don't have those details, right? And the fact that he flew in and took immediate action, regardless that there's a rift, he went to go see his dad. Maybe his dad wasn't even in a place or position to speak to him. I know certain cancer diagnoses, maybe he was intubated. We don't know all of those different reasons why it was so short-lived. But I do know this. One of my takeaways in this discussion between Candace and Nigel is that she wants Harry to know. It's kind of like, Harry, everybody loved you. She kind of used it in past tense. You were cool at one point. That is what Nigel said when he asked his daughters, what do you think of the royal family? That they're so cool. And Prince Harry was once loved, and now he's despised or loathed or not very well liked because he chose his wife over his family, and she's accusing him of not, being that bright. Okay. All right. So what are your thoughts, guys? Do you believe in the theory that Prince Harry's not that bright and that Meghan Markle had an agenda from day one? Is she truly a bad actress that just married a prince so that she can become an A-list celebrity or get into the parties? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until the next time we spill some hot tea.